Title: The Real Story of the History of Dubai, from Desert to Modern Wonder. Hello friends, and welcome to this long-form English story. Today, we will explore the real history of Dubai, told in a clear and slow English style. This story is written for English learners at the intermediate and upper intermediate level. It will help you improve your listening skills, learn new vocabulary, understand emotional expressions, and discover the amazing history of Dubai. Stay with me until the end, because this story will take you on a journey from a quiet desert village to one of the most famous cities in the world. Before tall skyscrapers, luxury cars, and world-famous shopping malls, Dubai was just a small fishing and trading town. The people lived simple lives. They depended on the sea, the desert, and their traditions. But everything changed in just a few decades. This is the true story of Dubai's journey, a story of dreams, challenges, hope, and transformation. A long time ago, before anyone knew the name Dubai, the land was mostly sand, sea, and sky. There were no tall buildings, no busy airports, and no famous hotels. Instead, there were small villages, desert camps, and wooden boats resting on the shore. The people who lived there were called Bedouins. The Bedouins were desert travelers. They lived in tents made of animal hair and moved with their camels across the sands. Life was not easy. The desert was hot during the day and very cold at night. There was little water, and food was simple, mostly dates, bread, and camel milk. Along the coast, another group of people lived. These were the fishermen and pearl divers. The sea was their home, and they spent long hours in small wooden boats called dhows. They caught fish, traded goods, and dived deep into the water to find pearls. Pearls were very valuable at that time. Before oil, before tourism, pearls were the treasure of the Gulf. Men would tie stones to their bodies, hold their breath, and dive into the sea with only a small nose clip and a basket. It was dangerous work. Many divers suffered from sickness, accidents, or even death, but pearls brought money, and money brought food. The women stayed at home, taking care of children, animals, and daily life. They made food, collected water, and waited for their husbands, fathers, or sons to return from the sea. Life was full of patience, strength, and tradition. In the center of this life was community. People supported each other. If one family had little food, neighbors would share. If a traveler came to the village, he was always welcomed with coffee and dates. Hospitality was a deep value in Arabian culture, and it remains so today. The rulers of the area were known as sheikhs. Each tribe had a leader, and these leaders cared for their people. In the early days, Dubai was under the rule of the Al Maktoum family, who continue to rule even today. Although life was simple, there was always hope. The people believed that with patience, hard work, and faith, the desert would provide. They respected the land and the sea, even though both were difficult and sometimes cruel. When travelers from other countries visited the Gulf, they often wrote about the kindness and bravery of the people. They described Dubai as a small but active town, where merchants traded spices, fabrics, and pearls with India, Persia, and Africa. This was Dubai in its beginning, a place of sand, sea, struggle, and survival. No one at that time could imagine that one day, this small desert town would become one of the richest and most modern cities in the world. But every great story begins with humble roots, and so did Dubai's. In the 1800s and early 1900s, Dubai became famous for one special reason: pearls. At that time, pearls were more valuable than gold in many parts of the world. People used pearls to make jewelry, crowns, and luxury clothes. Rich families in India, Persia, and Europe wanted them. And Dubai, with its warm Gulf waters, became one of the best places for pearl diving. Every summer, when the sea was calm, hundreds of small wooden boats left the shore. These boats were called dhows. On board were men of different ages, young boys who learned quickly, strong men who could dive deep, and older sailors who guided the journey. The pearl diving season was long and difficult. The men would leave home for 4 months or more. They lived on the boat with very little food and water. Each day, from sunrise to sunset, they dived into the sea. A pearl diver carried only a few tools, a nose clip to keep water out, a basket tied around his neck for oysters, and a stone weight tied to his foot to help him sink fast. He would dive down, hold his breath for 1 or 2 minutes, collect as many oysters as possible, and then come back up. The work was dangerous. Some men fainted underwater, others were attacked by sharks or jellyfish. Many suffered ear and lung problems. When the boats finally returned, the whole village celebrated. Families waited on the shore, hoping their men had found good pearls. Some pearls were small and not valuable, but sometimes, a diver found a large, shining pearl worth a fortune. For many years, pearls were the lifeline of Dubai. They brought money, trade, and fame. Merchants from India and Iran came to Dubai's markets. They bought pearls and sold spices, textiles, and rice. Dubai grew into a busy port. But life was not only about pearls. On land, people continued their traditional desert life. Bedouins raised camels, goats, and sheep. They traded dates, milk, and wool with the towns near the coast. The people of Dubai were known for their trading spirit. They were open to visitors and businessmen from other countries. They welcomed Indians, Persians, and even Europeans who wanted to do business. Slowly, Dubai became known as a friendly and active trading center. At this time, the Al Maktoum family ruled Dubai. In 1833, the family moved from Abu Dhabi and took control of the small fishing village. Sheikh Maktoum bin Beauty led his tribe, the Bani Yas, and established Dubai as their new home. From that moment, the Al Maktoum name became part of Dubai's history forever. The rulers understood that trade and openness were the key to growth. They allowed merchants from outside to live and work in Dubai without heavy taxes. This was unusual in those days, and it made Dubai more attractive than other towns in the region. By the early 1900s, Dubai had a cosmopolitan flavor. Markets, or souks, were full of voices speaking different languages: Arabic, Persian, Hindi, and sometimes English. The smell of spices, perfumes, and fresh fish filled the air. Narrow streets were busy with camels, donkeys, and people carrying goods. But then came a great change. In the 1920s and 1930s, the world economy faced a crisis. The invention of cultured pearls in Japan destroyed the natural pearl market. Suddenly, the pearls from Dubai were no longer valuable. Merchants could buy cheaper, artificial pearls from Japan. The divers' hard work became almost worthless. The pearl industry collapsed, and with it, many families lost their income. It was a very hard time. Poverty spread across Dubai. Some families moved away to search for work in Bahrain or Kuwait. Others tried to survive with fishing and small trade, but Dubai's spirit did not break. The people remembered their strength and unity. Even without pearls, they believed that their land and sea still had something to offer. And soon, they would discover something under the desert sands that would change their lives forever: oil. But before oil arrived, Dubai's leaders had to guide their people through this difficult period. They had to prepare for a new future, one that no one could yet imagine. After the pearl industry collapsed in the 1930s, Dubai entered one of its hardest times. Families who once lived on pearl trading suddenly had no money. Many people struggled to find food. Men went back to fishing, women made handicrafts, and children helped with simple jobs. The desert life became harder than ever. But even in those years of struggle, Dubai had something special: visionary leaders. The rulers from the Al Maktoum family believed that the future would not always be so dark. They guided their people with patience and courage, preparing for better days. In the early 20th century, the world was changing fast. Cars, airplanes, and new machines needed oil as fuel. Across the Middle East, other countries like Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Kuwait had already found oil under their deserts. Oil brought them sudden wealth. Dubai's leaders and people began to hope maybe their land also had this hidden treasure. In the 1930s, foreign oil companies arrived in the Arabian Gulf. They came with strange machines, maps, and experts. These companies signed agreements with Dubai's rulers to search for oil. The people watched with curiosity. Could it be true that black liquid under the sand would bring fortune? The search was not easy. For many years, oil explorers drilled wells in different places, but they found nothing. Some people began to lose hope. But the rulers remained patient. Finally, in the 1950s and 1960s, the first oil fields were discovered near Dubai. The black gold was real. Though Dubai's oil reserves were smaller than those of its neighbors, they were enough to begin a new chapter in history. With the money from oil, Dubai started to change. Roads were built, schools were opened, and hospitals gave people better health care. For the first time, children could study in classrooms instead of working only in the fields or at sea. Electricity reached homes, replacing old oil lamps. Clean water became more available. Small houses were replaced by stronger buildings made of stone and concrete. Life became easier, and people began to dream of a brighter future. One of the most important leaders in Dubai's history was Sheikh Rashid bin Zayed Al Maktoum. He became ruler in 1958. Sheikh Rashid was a man of vision. He did not only think about the present, he thought about the future. He knew that Dubai's oil would not last forever. So, he planned to use the oil money not just for luxury, but for development. His dream was to make Dubai a center of trade and business for the whole region. At that time, Dubai already had one natural advantage: its location. The city was placed perfectly between East and West, close to India, Africa, and Europe. Sheikh Rashid understood this. He believed that Dubai could become a gateway for the world. One of Sheikh Rashid's first big projects was improving Dubai Creek. The creek was the heart of the city, where traders brought their boats filled with goods. But the creek was narrow and shallow, and large ships could not enter. In the 1960s, Sheikh Rashid took a bold step. He borrowed money to dredge the creek, making it deeper and wider. Many people doubted him. They thought it was too expensive and too risky. But Sheikh Rashid believed in his vision. The project was a success. Larger ships could now enter Dubai. Trade increased. Merchants from India, Iran, and Africa brought more goods: gold, spices, cloth, and electronics. Dubai's economy began to grow quickly. Later, Sheikh Rashid built Port Rashid, a modern harbor for big ships. This turned Dubai into one of the busiest trading centers in the Gulf. By the late 1960s, Dubai was no longer a poor desert village. Oil money and trade had transformed it into a small but modernizing city. Cars replaced camels on the streets. Families moved into new houses with electricity and running water. Children dreamed of becoming doctors, teachers, and engineers. Still, traditions remained strong. People continued to gather for coffee and dates. Weddings were celebrated with music, dancing, and poetry. The desert and the sea were still part of daily life. But a new world was slowly rising alongside the old. The discovery of oil gave Dubai more than just money. It gave the people hope. For centuries, life had been a struggle against the desert and the sea. Now, for the first time, there was a feeling that dreams could come true. Sheikh Rashid often said that oil was just the beginning. The real future of Dubai would come from trade, tourism, and innovation. Few people could imagine it then, but he was right. As the 1960s ended, Dubai stood at a crossroads. It had moved from poverty to progress. The next challenge was even greater: to become not just a Gulf city, but a city known across the world. And soon, with the creation of a new nation, the United Arab Emirates, Dubai's story would reach another turning point. By the end of the 1960s, Dubai was already changing fast. Roads, schools, and new buildings were appearing. Oil money and trade were bringing hope. But something even bigger was about to happen: the birth of a new country. For many years, Britain had strong influence in the Gulf. The British Navy protected the region's trade routes, and they signed agreements with local rulers. But in 1968, Britain announced that it would withdraw from the Gulf by 1971. This news created uncertainty. The small states along the Gulf Coast, including Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, and others, wondered what would happen next. Would they be safe without British protection? Would they survive alone? The rulers realized they had to work together. They could not face the future divided. They needed unity. Two men became the main leaders of this new dream: Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the ruler of Abu Dhabi. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai. Sheikh Zayed was generous, wise, and deeply respected. Abu Dhabi was rich in oil, and Sheikh Zayed wanted to use that wealth for the good of all. Sheikh Rashid, with his vision for trade and development, shared the same belief in cooperation. Together, these two leaders began discussions to create a union of states. On December 2, 1971, a historic event took place. 6 states, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Oman, Amal Quain, and Fujairah, came together to form the United Arab Emirates, UAE. A year later, in 1972, Ras Al Khaimah also joined. This made 7 emirates in total. The UAE flag was raised for the first time. It had 4 colors: red, for courage and strength; green, for hope and prosperity; white, for peace and honesty; black, for dignity and power. People felt proud and emotional. After centuries of living as small, separate communities, they were now united as one nation. Dubai played an important role in the new country. Sheikh Rashid agreed that Abu Dhabi would be the capital, but he also made sure that Dubai would become a center for business and trade. This balance worked well. Abu Dhabi provided the oil wealth, while Dubai focused on ports, commerce, and openness to the world. Together, they helped the UAE grow stronger. The people of Dubai benefited quickly. With the support of Abu Dhabi's oil money and Dubai's trade income, schools improved, universities opened, and hospitals expanded. Women began to take more roles in education and society. The future looked bright. In the 1970s, Sheikh Rashid started another bold project, Jebel Ali Port. At that time, many thought it was a crazy idea. Why build one of the largest man-made ports in the world in a small Gulf city? Who would use it? But Sheikh Rashid saw the future clearly. He knew that Dubai's location made it perfect for international shipping. If Dubai had a world-class port, it could attract global trade. The construction began, and within a few years, Jebel Ali Port was completed. It became a symbol of Dubai's ambition. Soon, shipping companies from around the world started using it. This decision helped turn Dubai into a global trading hub. Another milestone came in the mid-1980s, but its roots were planted earlier. Sheikh Rashid and his sons believed Dubai needed its own airline to connect directly with the world. In 1985, Emirates Airline was launched with just 2 airplanes. Few people believed it would succeed. But today, Emirates is one of the largest and most respected airlines in the world. This success was built on the same idea that guided Sheikh Rashid: dream big, plan carefully, and stay open to the world. Even as Dubai modernized, its people did not forget their traditions. Families still gathered in majlis, traditional sitting rooms, to drink Arabic coffee and share stories. Men wore white kanduras, and women wore abayas, showing respect for culture. Weddings, Ramadan, and Eid were celebrated with joy and community spirit. Dubai showed that it was possible to embrace modern life while protecting tradition. The creation of the UAE gave the people a new sense of identity. They were no longer just pearl divers, Bedouins, or traders. They were now Emiratis, citizens of a united nation. This new identity brought confidence. Children grew up dreaming not only of survival, but of success, education, and achievement. By the end of the 1970s, Dubai was no longer a small desert town. It was a growing city with modern ports, expanding trade, and a strong place in the new UAE. But the most important seed planted in this era was vision. The leaders and the people believed that the future held endless possibilities. They would not depend only on oil. They would build a city of business, tourism, and global connection. The desert had once given pearls, then oil. Now, with unity and vision, it was giving something even greater: dreams without limits. And soon, in the decades ahead, those dreams would take the shape of skyscrapers, airports, and world records. By the 1980s, Dubai had already changed a lot. The discovery of oil, the creation of the United Arab Emirates, and Sheikh Rashid's bold projects gave the city a strong foundation. But the real transformation of Dubai into a modern global city began during the 1980s and 1990s. Dubai's leaders always knew that oil would not last forever. Unlike Abu Dhabi, Dubai had only limited oil reserves. If the city wanted to survive, it needed a new plan. That plan was simple but powerful: diversify the economy. In other words, Dubai would not depend only on oil. Instead, it would focus on trade, tourism, real estate, shipping, and services. This was a very brave decision, because at that time, most Gulf states still relied heavily on oil. Sheikh Rashid's sons, especially Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, played a key role in turning this vision into reality. Sheikh Mohammed believed Dubai could become not just a Gulf city, but a global center of business and tourism. In the 1980s, Dubai completed one of its greatest projects, Jebel Ali Port, which had been started earlier. This port became the largest man-made harbor in the world. Shipping companies from Asia, Europe, and Africa began to use Dubai as a stop on their routes. But Sheikh Mohammed wanted more. He created the Jebel Ali Free Zone, JAFZA, in 1985. In this zone, foreign companies could own their businesses, avoid certain taxes, and easily trade goods. This was revolutionary at that time. Companies from all over the world rushed to open offices in Dubai. By the 1990s, JAFZA had hundreds of international companies, and today it has thousands. This idea made Dubai a business-friendly city long before others in the region. In 1985, Dubai launched Emirates Airline with just 2 planes. Many people doubted it would succeed, because larger airlines already existed in the region. But Dubai's leaders believed strongly in their dream. They built a small but efficient Dubai International Airport, and slowly expanded Emirates. The airline became known for its excellent service, modern planes, and connections to many cities. By the late 1990s, Emirates was already becoming a major global airline. This success also helped tourism. More travelers began flying to Dubai, not only for business but also for holidays. In the 1980s and 1990s, Dubai's skyline began to rise. Tall buildings started to appear where once there had been only sand and small houses. One of the most famous projects of this time was the Burj Al Arab Hotel, designed in the shape of a sail. Construction started in the 1990s, and it opened in 1999. At that time, it was the tallest hotel in the world and quickly became a symbol of modern Dubai. Burj Al Arab showed the world that Dubai wanted to be different. It did not want to build just ordinary hotels. It wanted to build icons, places that people would recognize immediately, even if they had never visited. Dubai also realized that tourism could become one of its strongest industries. In the 1990s, the city started to promote itself as a destination for sun, shopping, and luxury. Large shopping malls were built, offering not only shops but also cinemas, food courts, and entertainment. The Dubai Shopping Festival, launched in 1996, attracted visitors from across the region and beyond. It became famous for discounts, raffles, fireworks, and cultural events. Tourists from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East started to visit Dubai. Some came for business, others for holidays, and many came for both. This rapid growth also brought challenges. The population increased quickly, as workers and professionals from many countries came to Dubai. Construction sites were everywhere. The city became home to a mix of cultures: Arabs, South Asians, Europeans, Africans, and others. English became the common language for business. This diversity gave Dubai an international flavor, but it also required careful planning to keep society stable and respectful. The leaders worked hard to balance tradition and modernity. While skyscrapers rose in the city, the people continued to value their culture, wearing traditional clothes, practicing hospitality, and celebrating festivals. By the end of the 1990s, Dubai was no longer just a trading port in the Gulf. It was becoming known worldwide as a city of ambition. Journalists wrote articles calling it the city of the future. Businessmen described it as a place where dreams could become reality. Sheikh Mohammed's famous phrase, "In Dubai, we don't wait for the future." we build it, began to reflect the city's spirit. People who had once lived through poverty in the days of pearl diving now watched their children study in universities, travel abroad, and work in modern offices. Life had changed completely in just 2 generations. Perhaps Dubai's greatest strength in this era was its location. Positioned between Europe, Asia, and Africa, Dubai became a bridge between East and West. Ships passed through its ports. Planes landed in its airports. Businesses set up regional headquarters. This strategic position made Dubai attractive to everyone, from tourists looking for beaches to companies searching for new markets. By the year 2000, Dubai was ready for an even bigger leap. The city had built strong foundations in trade, aviation, tourism, and construction. It had created an international reputation for ambition and success. But the leaders were not satisfied yet. They wanted Dubai to be not only a regional hub, but a global city that would amaze the entire world. The next chapter of Dubai's story would bring record-breaking towers, artificial islands, and global fame. The world had not yet seen the most daring side of Dubai's dream. When the new millennium began in the year 2000, Dubai was already a modern and ambitious city. But what came next surprised the entire world. In just 1 decade, Dubai turned itself into a global symbol of progress and innovation. Skyscrapers rose high into the sky, man-made islands appeared in the sea, and the city broke record after record. Perhaps the most famous symbol of Dubai's ambition is the Burj Khalifa. Construction started in 2004, and it took 6 years to complete. When it finally opened in 2010, the Burj Khalifa became the tallest building in the world, standing at over 828 meters. The Burj Khalifa was not only a building. It was a message to the world: Dubai dreams without limits. Inside the tower, there are luxury apartments, offices, a hotel, and an observation deck where visitors can see the entire city, the desert, and the sea. At night, the tower shines with lights, and it has become one of the most photographed places on Earth. While the Burj Khalifa reached for the sky, Dubai also created wonders in the sea. The Palm Jumeirah was one of the most daring projects of the 2000s. Built in the shape of a palm tree, it added more than 500 kilometers of new coastline to Dubai. Luxury villas, hotels, and resorts were built on the palm-shaped island. Soon after, Dubai announced another project, the World Islands. This was a group of man-made islands shaped like a map of the world. Each island represented a different country, and they were sold to investors from around the globe. These projects showed the world that Dubai was not afraid to attempt the impossible. During the 2000s, Dubai International Airport became one of the busiest airports in the world. Millions of travelers passed through it every year. At the same time, Emirates Airline expanded rapidly. With new airplanes like the Airbus A380, Emirates became a leader in global aviation. The airline connected Dubai directly to cities across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. This growth turned Dubai into a true global hub, where people from every continent crossed paths. Shopping also became part of Dubai's global identity. In 2008, the Dubai Mall opened. It was the largest shopping mall in the world, with over 1,200 shops, an indoor ice rink, an aquarium, and countless restaurants. Tourists came not only to shop, but also to enjoy entertainment and attractions. Shopping festivals, luxury brands, and world-class service made Dubai famous as a shopping paradise. Dubai knew that oil would run out one day, so it invested heavily in tourism. Resorts, hotels, theme parks, and cultural attractions were developed throughout the 2000s. The Atlantis Hotel, built on the Palm Jumeirah, opened in 2008. With its water parks, aquariums, and luxury rooms, it became another symbol of Dubai's ability to amaze visitors. Dubai also hosted international events, sports tournaments, and cultural festivals, inviting the world to see its achievements. While Dubai was building towers and islands, it was also becoming a serious place for international business. The creation of Dubai Internet City and Dubai Media City in the 2000s attracted global companies like Microsoft, CNN, and Sony. These special business zones allowed companies to operate freely, without heavy taxes, and with modern infrastructure. This made Dubai a center of innovation and communication in the Middle East. By the 2000s, Dubai had become home to people from all over the world. More than 80% of the population were expatriates, people who had moved from other countries to work and live in Dubai. Walking through the streets, one could hear dozens of languages: Arabic, English, Hindi, Urdu, Tagalog, Russian, and more. Restaurants served food from every continent. This diversity made Dubai unique. It was a city where East met West, where tradition met modernity, and where people lived side by side in peace. But Dubai's journey was not without challenges. In 2008, the world faced a financial crisis. Real estate prices dropped, projects slowed down, and Dubai faced economic difficulties. For a moment, many wondered if Dubai's dream was too big, too fast. But once again, the city showed resilience. With support from Abu Dhabi and careful planning, Dubai recovered and continued to grow. By the end of the 2000s, Dubai had achieved something extraordinary. In just a few decades, it had transformed from a small desert town into a world-famous city. The Burj Khalifa, the Palm Jumeirah, Emirates Airline, and the Dubai Mall were not just achievements, they were symbols of Dubai's vision, courage, and determination. People from around the world began to think of Dubai as a place of possibility, where even the most ambitious dreams could come true. As the 2000s ended, Dubai stood as a shining example of transformation. It had broken records, amazed the world, and built a reputation as a global city of innovation and luxury. But Dubai's leaders were not finished. They wanted more. They dreamed of making Dubai not just a city of skyscrapers and shopping malls, but a city of knowledge, technology, and sustainability. The story of Dubai was still being written, and the next chapters would bring even more surprises. By the start of the 2010s, Dubai had already amazed the world with its skyscrapers, man-made islands, and global reputation. But the city's leaders knew that true success was not just about records or luxury. The real challenge was to create a future that was strong, sustainable, and inspiring. In the 2010s, Dubai continued to grow as a hub for trade, travel, and business. Dubai International Airport became the busiest airport in the world for international passengers. Millions of travelers passed through its terminals each year. Emirates Airline expanded to fly to more than 150 cities across the globe, connecting people from every continent. The city's ports handled massive amounts of goods, making Dubai one of the largest trading centers in the world. Dubai had truly become a place where the world met. The leaders also understood that the future was about more than size. It was about sustainability and smart technology. Projects like the Dubai Metro, launched in 2009, expanded further in the 2010s. The metro became one of the longest driverless train systems in the world, helping reduce traffic and pollution. The government also announced the Dubai Clean Energy Strategy 2050, aiming to make the city a leader in renewable energy. Solar parks and green projects were introduced, showing that Dubai cared about the environment as well as progress. The Dubai Smart City Initiative brought technology into everyday life. From smart apps for government services to electronic payments and digital IDs, Dubai became one of the most advanced cities in the region. Even after building the Burj Khalifa, Dubai did not stop dreaming. Dubai Frame, a giant picture frame-shaped building, opened in 2018, symbolizing the link between Old Dubai and New Dubai. Dubai Opera became a center for art, music, and culture. Plans for new towers, theme parks, and futuristic districts kept the city in the global spotlight. Dubai continued to prove that it was not afraid of bold ideas. One of the proudest moments in Dubai's recent history was winning the right to host Expo 2020. The World Expo is a global event where countries showcase their culture, technology, and innovation. In 2013, Dubai won the bid to host Expo 2020, the first city in the Middle East to ever do so. The slogan was "Connecting Minds, Creating the Future." Preparations began immediately. A massive site was built with pavilions from more than 190 countries. Each pavilion shared unique ideas about sustainability, mobility, and opportunity. However, in 2020, the world faced the COVID-19 pandemic. Travel stopped, businesses closed, and uncertainty filled the air. Expo 2020 was delayed. For the first time in many years, Dubai, like the rest of the world, felt the heavy weight of crisis. But Dubai did not give up. The expo was postponed to 2021, and when it finally opened, it became a shining symbol of resilience. Millions of visitors came, and the event showed that Dubai could overcome challenges and still welcome the world with open arms. Expo 2020 left behind a new district, now called Expo City Dubai, which continues to serve as a place for innovation and creativity. Through all its changes, Dubai never forgot its roots. Traditional souks, like the Gold Souk and Spice Souk, continued to attract visitors. Emirati culture, clothing, and food remained an important part of daily life. Hospitality, generosity, and respect for guests continued to define the city. Dubai showed the world that modern skyscrapers and deep traditions could live side by side. A person could visit a high-tech business meeting in the morning, and enjoy Arabic coffee and dates in a traditional majlis in the evening. For many people around the world, Dubai became a symbol of dreams. It showed that a city with little oil, limited land, and no rivers could still rise to global fame with vision, planning, and determination. Children in Dubai grew up proud, seeing their city mentioned in international news, movies, and magazines. Tourists came from every corner of the planet, often saying, "Dubai feels like the future." Dubai also looked to the stars. In 2019, the UAE sent its first astronaut, Hazza Al-Mansouri, to space. In 2021, the Hope probe reached Mars, making the UAE the first Arab country to achieve such a mission. Dubai played a central role in these space projects, proving that its ambitions reached far beyond Earth. Dubai's story is more than just buildings and projects. It is a story of people. The fishermen, pearl divers, and Bedouins who survived the hard desert life. The leaders who dreamed beyond oil and believed in trade, openness, and progress. The workers and professionals from all over the world who helped build the city brick by brick. Dubai teaches us that no dream is too big if there is vision, unity, and determination. As Dubai looks to the future, it continues to focus on innovation, technology, and sustainability. The city wants to be a leader in artificial intelligence, green energy, and smart living. The story is not finished. New chapters are being written every day. But one thing is clear, Dubai will keep dreaming, keep building, and keep inspiring the world. From a small desert village to a global city of hope, Dubai's journey is one of the most remarkable transformations in modern history. And this brings us to the end of the story of Dubai. From a small desert village to one of the most famous cities in the world, Dubai's journey teaches us about vision, courage, and determination. It shows us that no dream is too big when people work together with hope and hard work. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope it helped you improve your English, learn new words, and also feel inspired by the story of Dubai. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more clear and slow English stories. See you in the next story.